folks. Let's take a look at the news. So, this is pretty interesting. There is an old attack against WPS called the Pixie Dust exploit. And I know one attack against WPS. I used to put it in the hacking class years ago. Wi-Fi Protected Service, WPS, is a system to automatically transfer the key for WPA from one device to another. And it has a variety of weaknesses. The one I knew is that in many systems, it was just an 8-digit number composed of 2 separate 4-digit numbers that were related. And so you could brute force all the possibilities, but it took about 19 hours. But these guys, the Pixie Dust exploit, they say they're able to catch information during one handshake and crack it in just a few seconds offline. So somehow it's got something to do with insufficient randomness. I don't know exactly how it works, but what's interesting is they informed people of this long ago, but it took the most responsive company 9 years to patch it, and like 3/4 of them never patched it at all. So this attack, which is 15 years old, or 2014, I guess 11 or 12 years old, is still working on most modern routers. So that's interesting. And now, I think you would have to be near the router to do it. I don't think so, but still, it's surprising how much they don't seem to care at all about a security flaw. This reminds me of the one I've demonstrated many times, Microsoft Remote Desktop Protocol. If you change your password and you use a cloud account, you can only log in with the old password, not the new one, which is another outrageous thing, and Microsoft just seems to be completely ignoring it and pretending it's okay when it manifestly is not okay. So, SonicWall, this is pretty amazing. You know, if you have a firewall, you can configure it, and these days that can be quite burdensome. The firewall configuration can be very complicated, so you're supposed to back it up someplace. But for some reason, SonicWall provided a cloud service. You could back it up in the cloud, and then somebody hacked their cloud and stole those backups. So it's another strange situation. And this reminds, first there was the rush to the cloud about 8 years ago, and all kinds of security disasters. Now there's a rush to AI, and all kinds of security disasters coming from that. But anyway, that's the thing. Backing up your stuff to the SonicWall cloud was apparently not safe. And let's see if I can get this thing to load. There we go. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, this was a new attack. Yeah, what this was, for some reason the article won't load here, but what's going on here is, yeah, I can't reach Ars Technica, that's ridiculous. Anyway, the point is, I was going to do this. I have a problem with my email. People emailing stuff, they might as well just throw it in the trash. I get about 100 spams a day. Everything is always buried. And even when I can find even when I know a keyword, I still can't find it because the City College spam filter throws the good stuff away, and then the Gmail filter throws good stuff away. So it's just pretty much useless to send me email. And anyway, there is a new AI feature you can turn on that will scan your email inbox with AI and try to find the important stuff. And apparently, if you do that, you're then vulnerable. The system that they tested here, which I can't get since the page won't load, had all you had to do was send somebody an email with commands in it, and the AI, again, will fall for prompt injection. It will take information in the email it's scanning as commands. It doesn't understand the difference between commands and data. So you could get it to exfiltrate your emails to a third party by just sending somebody an email, and this would all happen with no interaction from the user. They would not know it had happened. So the ChatGPT has supposedly fixed that, but they can't have fixed it very well because prompt injection remains an unsolved problem for all AIs. All they do is put in some kind of filter to block the exact specific attack. But they haven't found a good way to fix the fundamental problem. There is no way in any of the large language models to discriminate between commands from the administrator and data from the user. And so these guys, Stanford investigators, were able to create a real virus, which apparently was more deadly than a naturally occurring one, far more infectious. So they were now able to use AI to help them craft bioweapons that apparently work. And I had to contribute a lot of human ingenuity to it. It didn't happen entirely from the AI, but it is, they created the genome with an AI, and this is Similar work has been going on for a while. This is the first one they've used it to create an infectious virus, but they've already used it to find several medical treatments. As you're able to hunt through structures of many drugs and pick out which ones are likely to work, which you then have to test. So it's helped in various ways for medical purposes, and this is helping for biological warfare purposes. So, as you probably heard, Jimmy Kimmel has been canceled by order of the FCC, and this is very troubling to those of us that remember a time before 10 years ago when we were a constitutional republic, but the Constitution is pretty much being burned down by Trump and the Supreme Court. This is exactly what has been explicitly forbidden by the Constitution. The government is not able to shut down news sources. What? Yeah. Anyway, so but they are just shutting down news sources. They're also allowing mergers of news agencies in violation of previous generations of our administration that would break up the monopolies because it's to their advantage to have a small amount of oligarchs and monopolies. Do you need something?
Oh, I was just trying to study over here.
I
was just trying to study over here.
Hey, you can stay here. It doesn't matter. Okay, feel free. All right. Anyway, so the FCC contacted them and said, you got to put Jimmy Kimmel off or we're going to punish you by not letting you have your merger, which is exactly what you're not supposed to do, exactly what Trump did to Ukraine. You take a government service that is supposed to be serving the country and you say, I'm going to withhold government services from you until you give me a bribe. And when Trump went to a restaurant last week and there were 4 people there chanting, Trump is the Hitler of our time and free Palestine, and he now is trying to prosecute them. And this deputy attorney general appeared and said he thinks he can prosecute them with RICO. And that is another right explicitly in the Constitution to petition the government for redress of grievances. Protesting against the government is how we got here. It is a fundamental constitutional right in the First Amendment, but they're trying to take that one down too. So it's a very troubling time. And Canada has said they would welcome any of us to come help them with tech work up in Canada, and that's beginning to look increasingly appealing, but I'm not planning to do it too seriously until after the 26 election. If the 26 and 28 elections are canceled or rigged, then it probably would be about time to flee the country. But this may all be reversed in 26 and 28. The login is CNIT, and the password is CNIT. Yeah, all right. Anyway, so now, MITRE ATT&CK, I talk about a lot in the incident response in a lot of our classes. The MITRE ATT&CK framework lists all the steps of an attack, and it's used by everybody these days, that and the CVE list. And there's something called a MITRE ATT&CK evaluation, and I'm going to learn more about this. Apparently something is very wrong with the MITRE evaluations. All these major companies have pulled out of evaluations which they used to go to. And here's a comment from someone who said he worked at MITRE since the early days. He said their evaluations have turned into vendor theaters. Vendors invest huge resources for PR wins, not real security improvements. So he says these MITRE evaluations are just crooked and useless, and that's why everyone's pulling out of them. So that's interesting. I don't know what's going to come of it, but anyway. So this is something that's been going on for a while, and here's another version of it. People are infecting cloud servers, virtual private servers, and taking them over and using them to make proxies. And this is what a lot of the proxies used by criminals are. They are using hacked machines. And they can only use them for a period of time until they get caught, but they just hack more. And there's a large amount of vulnerable machines being spun up. So that's a thing to be aware of. Mark Zuckerberg announced he thinks he's going to make tons of money with the Ray-Ban glasses, augmented reality. And people say it's really not much good, and I'd be surprised if anybody actually wants it. It's incredible. They're bragging about how it has like 50 pixels per degree of vision, which is really, really terrible. So you're only going to get blurry images. It only covers a small part of the visual field. Your like instant messages can pop up in your glasses. Anyway, it doesn't sound very exciting at all, but he's hoping he'll make a ton of money off it, investing billions of dollars in developing this. We'll see. He's invested in a lot of stupid things. Before this, it was the big push for virtual meetings, where people would sit around a virtual conference table with no feet. That was his metaverse. They changed the whole name of the company, and it turned out nobody wanted that. Anyway, And so Trump wants to build a golden dome. He's imitating the Israeli Iron Dome, but Israel is a much smaller country. To protect the entire nation of America with a system of lasers and missiles that can shoot down missiles as they come in here, apparently, I've heard some people say it may be possible. It'll be expensive. We'll see what happens. The glasses malfunctioned at the presentation. Oh, that's good too, yeah. Anyway, all right, well, that's enough of the news. Let me stop this.